He made one innocent promise years ago, never believing she'd return to claim it. But when his Apache neighbor arrived at his ranch asking him to keep his word, his entire life changed forever. What happened next shocked the whole town. Watch till the end, and don't forget to like, subscribe, and share for more unforgettable Wild West stories. Daniel Carter had spent most of his life on a quiet ranch in the wide deserts of Arizona, where every sunrise painted the mountains in shades of gold and red. Known throughout the county for his honesty and hard-working spirit, Daniel never turned away anyone in need, whether it was lending horses to struggling ranchers, delivering food during difficult winters, or repairing broken fences for elderly neighbors. He believed kindness always found its way back. Just beyond his ranch lived a small Apache community, and unlike many people in town, Daniel treated every family there with genuine respect. Over the years, trust grew between them, and he became a familiar, welcome face. Among the Apache families was a bright and kind-hearted young woman named Ayanna. Since childhood, she had watched Daniel arrive with supplies, medicine, or horses whenever her people needed help. Unlike others who judged the Apache community unfairly, Daniel always greeted everyone with a warm smile and sincere respect. Ayanna admired not only his courage, but also his compassion. Every visit left a lasting impression on her heart. She believed that true strength was shown through kindness, and Daniel embodied that belief. As the years passed, their friendship quietly deepened, built on trust, laughter, and countless simple conversations beneath Arizona's endless blue skies. One warm summer evening, members of the Apache community gathered around a glowing campfire to celebrate a successful harvest. Music echoed through the desert as elders shared stories and children laughed beneath the stars. Daniel had been invited as an honored guest because of everything he had done for the community. Sitting beside the fire, he listened with admiration as traditional songs filled the cool night air. Ayanna joined him, smiling with a confidence he had never seen before. After a long moment of silence, she looked into his eyes and softly said, "Rancher, one day you'll marry me." Her words surprised Daniel, but they carried an innocent sincerity. Daniel chuckled warmly, assuming Ayanna's words were simply the hopeful dream of a young woman. Wanting to answer without hurting her feelings, he smiled and replied, "If we're both still alone someday, I will." Everyone around the fire laughed gently, and the evening continued with dancing and joyful celebration. To Daniel, it was nothing more than a light-hearted promise shared beneath the stars. He never imagined that a single sentence, spoken so casually, would remain alive in someone's heart for many years. As life moved forward, he returned to his daily work, believing the memory would eventually fade with time. The years passed faster than Daniel expected. Seasons changed, cattle herds grew, and the ranch demanded every ounce of his attention. He watched neighbors marry, raise families, and move away while he remained devoted to his land. Occasionally he remembered that campfire conversation and smiled at the innocence of the moment, convinced Ayanna had long forgotten those words. But one quiet afternoon, as the Arizona wind carried dust across the ranch, Daniel looked toward the entrance and froze. Ayanna stood there wearing traditional Apache clothing, her expression calm yet determined. Meeting his eyes, she softly said, "I'm here because you made a promise." In that instant, memories rushed back, and Daniel realized that some promises never disappear with time. Daniel stood in complete silence, struggling to find the right words. He never meant to break anyone's heart, but he also never believed that a promise spoken years ago beside a campfire would become so important. Looking at Ayanna, he apologized gently and explained that he had spoken with kindness, never imagining she would carry those words through the passing years. Ayanna smiled softly instead of becoming angry. She told him that during the darkest moments of her life, when her family faced loss and hardship, remembering his promise reminded her that there was still goodness in the world, and that someone had once seen her with respect instead of prejudice. As Daniel listened, he began to understand the depth of her feelings. Ayanna explained that while many people judged the Apache community unfairly, Daniel had always treated her people with dignity and kindness. She had never expected wealth or comfort from him. She only hoped he would remain the honest man she had always admired. Daniel realized that his simple words had become a symbol of hope for someone who had endured years of loneliness. For the first time, he saw the promise not as a careless joke, but as a reflection of his own character. Walking away now would mean betraying the values he had lived by all his life. News of Ayanna's arrival spread quickly through the nearby Arizona town. Before long, people gathered outside the ranch, whispering rumors and making unfair assumptions. Some insisted Daniel should forget the promise because too much time had passed, while others criticized the idea of a rancher marrying an Apache woman. Their opinions grew louder each day, hoping to pressure Daniel into changing his mind. Although the gossip hurt both of them, Ayanna refused to answer hatred with anger. She reminded Daniel that respect could never grow where fear ruled people's hearts. Her quiet strength gave him the courage to face the town instead of hiding from it. A few days later, Daniel stood in the center of town where everyone could hear him. Looking at friends, neighbors, and strangers alike, he spoke with confidence. He admitted that he had once believed promises could be forgotten, but life had taught him otherwise. A person's honor, he said, is measured not by easy words, but by the courage to stand behind them when keeping them becomes difficult. The crowd fell silent as Daniel declared that he would never allow prejudice or gossip to decide what was right. His heartfelt speech surprised many people, and several who had doubted him lowered their heads in quiet reflection. Tears filled Ayanna's eyes as she realized Daniel had chosen honesty over fear. Together, they ignored the rumors and focused on building a future based on trust, loyalty, and mutual respect. Over time, even many skeptical townspeople began to admire the way they supported one another through every challenge. Their ranch became a place where neighbors from different backgrounds were welcomed without judgment. Daniel and Ayanna proved that true love is never defined by race, tradition, or the opinions of others. It is built through compassion, respect, and the willingness to keep a sincere promise, even when the path is difficult. Their story became an unforgettable reminder that integrity is the strongest foundation any relationship can have.